going on, team? Good morning, great rising. GM, get money. Hope everyone had a good night last night. Um, and hope everybody has a good day today, man. Once again, we'll do the same thing we've been doing for the last couple months, right? At this point, right? Last couple weeks. Um, we'll go over these pairs real quick. I'll do it one by one. Damn, bro, AU really messed with us last night. We were doing that isolation last night. Man, 30-minute golfing Asia session. Fuck that. I'm not gonna take it. And a three pip a 3 pip stop loss turned into a 50 pip TP. So would have been a good trade, man. But again, regardless, we know we have a 30-minute in golfing. We had a 15-minute in golfing. Price is still making higher highs and higher lows in the internal time frame. So very low probability. Like we always say, right? What we always have on our charts, right? Is just so it happens that this is the first pair in the last 2 weeks that actually went straight to take profit. So all good. It happens. It happens. There's nothing to worry about. But I'm just gonna get again. I'm gonna go through these pairs one by one. We'll look at the pairs that already hit STP or ADR. The ones that already hit STP or ADR, the ones that already made the move for the day, those are gonna be the pairs that we're obviously not gonna look at anymore, and we're just gonna look for something that we could trade. So EA, we know that I was looking for price to give us a break of the zone of consolidation, get a break of structure after the change of character before I take a trade, right? And overnight, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, it gave us that break of structure, right? Not only did it give us the break of structure, but it gave us the ADR for the day. So not going to be looking for any entries for today, but we also filled that gap at the top of the market. So kind of unfortunate that the areas of interest that we were looking for, that we're interested to take trades in, kind of already been filled, but it's all good, right? So EA's already done for the day, ADR's already been hit. ECAD, we're just still in the zone of consolidation, right? We still have that gap at the bottom of the market moving counter, and all we have is a change of character. We don't have that break of structure yet. So ECAD, I'm going to turn off. Not going to be interested in trading that. Mr. Bashir, how are you, my brother? Euro USD, again, we're still trading lower low, lower high, lower low. So EU, I'm not going to be trading it at this moment, right? We still have that gap at the bottom of the market. So right now, I'm not really interested in trading EU. Gonna skip it out for now. GA, very similar to AU, already hit STP and ADR for the day, right? So GA is another pair that I am not going to be trading at this moment. Um, we're also still trading lower low and lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we're just going to take it easy with this one for right now. I'm on the 15-minute time frame. There you go, 30-minute. What have you done? There's no need to run. Right, and GA already hit, like I said, ADR and STP for the day, and we're still trading lower low, lower high, lower low. So gonna be waiting for GA to turn around so we can start looking for those trades. GCAD gave us a change of character. It gave us the break of structure. Right, we have a day of rise. STP hasn't been hit. ADR hasn't been hit. So let's take a step back. Let's see if we can see anything for GCAD. Right now for GCAD, the only downside with GCAD is where are we in structure? We're at a higher high. Right, we're at the highest point right now in the trend. So that's the only negative downside for GCAD is that we're at a higher high, right? And are you going to be looking for buys at a higher high, or are you expecting price to give you higher high and then a higher low, right? We're expecting a higher low. We also had 2 weeks of rise. This week being the third week, price already gave us that third week push to the top side, and that's good, right? It gave us the move that we were looking for the week already, but could price go higher? Yes. Again, the only bad thing, the only negative with this is that we're trading at the higher highs. We're trading at the daily highs already. So at this moment, just kind of have to look for an entry criteria, right? What are we going to be looking for? Engulfing candles, lower time frame change of character, break of structure, any continuations, right? And right now we have a bearish engulfing candle, right? Going counter. Let's see if it's valid. Yep. Green wicks all have top and bottom wicks. Second green candle closed above the first, and then the red engulfing candle closed below the first green. Right? We had the retest, and then price went straight down. Now, on the 1 hour time frame, we have those exhaustion candles. So those exhaustion candles could help us out here. That could be telling us, hey, price is a little tired. We're not going to continue that push to the bottom. Right? And if that's the case, then this is where we'd want to start seeing price turn around and start giving us higher highs and higher lows. right? We have multiple engulfing candles, bearish engulfing candles. We know that we're stuck in this little zone where price is just moving sideways, no real trend to it. And in the 5 minute, we know we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Then we have lower low. All right, so let's actually make it easier for you guys to see. All right, so boom, we have the change of character that happened here. Right, change of character. Then we have this low, which the low never broke. Right, we're still trading between this low and this high. Right, so what do we need to wait for? We need to wait for that break of structure. I'm sorry, we're trading counter. I'm bugging out. We're not looking for that break of structure. We're looking for price to turn around, start making higher highs and higher lows. So at this moment, even if we go down to a lower time frame, let's try the 1 minute and see if structure in the 1 minute is playing out. But it looks the same, right? We could get away with saying that this is higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high in the 1 minute, right? Lower low, lower high, 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 lower low. And this is where we had the change of character: higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And this is where price turned around and gave you a lower low change of character. And then again, this is where we have a change of character: higher high, higher low, break of structure, higher high, higher low. Then we have another, right, higher high, and then price gave us a change of character: lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And we're trading in the 1 minute between this lower high here, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low. We're trading between this high and this low. So we would want to see price obviously turn around, right? And now, do we have any engulfing candles in the 1 minute time frame? Right, we have red, red, green, but that red candle doesn't have a bottom wick, and the green candle does not have a top and bottom wick, so it's not valid. So let's look more on the left hand side. Red, red, green, but this red candle, right, the wick didn't really, or the body didn't really close below the wick. And I'm not really a fan of those doji candle printing when I'm looking for it. And you can see, right, it's not valid. If we would have taken that trade, straight to stop loss. Right, so that's why waiting for these confirmations is super important, guys. Again, I could teach you a double bottom, I could teach you a double top, I could teach you a smart money concept, the SRT, ICT, turtle soup, 360 no scope across the map. Yeah, I could teach you all of that, right? But if I don't teach you market structure, you're going to lose every single trade you take. Because again, even though this might look like an engulfing candle, what is the market doing still? Still making lower lows and lower highs. We're not uptrending yet. So how are you taking a buy position when the market is still downtrending? Doesn't make any sense, right? So this is why being patient is just a lot better to be patient. Because again, the trades that we see that worked out last night, right? Like we saw with AU, how many times in the past 2 weeks did we see that exact same setup not work out? Right? We've seen it happen multiple times. And again, the streams are here for a reason. We could go back and back test. That is what back testing and forward testing is. That is why journaling is super important. Right? Understanding when to take a trade and when not to take a trade, understanding high probability versus low probability is super important. Right? Because if yesterday I didn't take a trade because it's low probability, and you saw that price was low probability because it went straight to stop loss, and then today you wake up and you see that exact same setup, are you going to take that setup already understanding why it's low probability and understanding that you're trading in a 50% range? Most likely you're not going to take the trade because you don't want to lose a trade. So that's exactly what this is today, right? This is why these streams are super important, right? So right now for GCAT, we're just going to wait it out. I'm not really liking structure. Again, we're stuck in this little range, just moving sideways, a little zone of consolidation. We'll keep it on because price hasn't hit STP just yet. And we'll look at it a little bit closer to the 9:30 open. Let's see, ADR for GJ is 169 minus 33%, which is STP is 113. Yesterday's STP was 111, and we already did today 122. So GJ's done. It already did STP for the day. GU, very similar to GCAD. We're just moving sideways, right? What I like about GJ on the 30-minute time frame is the fact that we have the change of character and we have the break of structure. But again, let's take a step back, right? Because it's very important to understand where you are in the structure, right? So let's start from the top to the bottom. So what's the first thing that we see? Well, okay, we know we're in an uptrend. Perfect. We're in an overall uptrend. We were in the first zone of consolidation. We had the break of structure, right? We had the higher high. Price gave us a higher low. And in the higher low, what are we looking for? After a higher low is set, we're looking for a higher high. Perfect. Right now, where are we? We're at the highs. We haven't really created a higher high just yet, but we're just sitting at these highs. Not only that, we have 3 months of rise. So this month, are we expecting price to give us another push to the top side? No. After 3 months of rise, we're expecting the market to either go down and give us a pullback, or we're expecting price to do exactly what it is doing right now, move sideways. Right? Vice versa with the drops. After 3 months of drop, or after 3 weeks of drop, or after 3 days of drop, you're looking for price to go up or move sideways. Same thing with the rises. After 3 months of rise, after 3 weeks of rise, after 3 days of rise, we're expecting the market to either go down or move sideways. And that's exactly what GU is doing right now. It's just moving sideways. We're stuck in a zone of consolidation, right? So let's go down to a lower time frame, right? We see that we're in that zone of consolidation. We have no continuations, right? We had a week of no net last week, where again last week price was just moving sideways, right? So we have no continuation. And what do we see here in the 4 hour time frame? It's a little bit more crystal clear than the daily time frame. Rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, right? Coming back up to the highs and giving us exhaustion candles at the highs. So what is this telling me already? That price is not ready to move up to the top side yet, right? So now we go to the 30-minute time frame, and what do we see? Right? The green flag that we have is the fact that price gave us a change of character and a break of structure. But what don't we have yet? We don't have a break of structure of the zone of consolidation. And this one is very easy, guys. Zones of consolidation are very easy. And the person that you should go, I'm not going to say you should go watch, because there's some negatives that he has on his videos that he does. But Raja Banks, he teaches zones of consolidation. He teaches breakouts. He understands that when you're in a zone of consolidation, you have to wait for the break. That's the one thing I will give him that he teaches perfectly, which is the breakouts. However, you have to connect it to market structure, right? How are you trading a breakout going short when the overall trend is uptrending, right? What do I mean by that? Super simple. Price is making higher high, higher low, boom, higher high, right? At a higher high, price gives you a zone of consolidation, right? If price breaks the lows of consolidation and gives you a retest, and I'll give you guys a minute to answer this question, would you take this trade here going short? Whoever's in the chat, just yes or no. Would you, and give me the reason why you wouldn't. And if you don't know the reason why, then it's okay. Just tell me yes or no. Right? If you were trading this right now, and you see this where price consolidates, gives you a break or retest, would you take this trade going short? Yes or no? And for the people who are going to watch the recording, pause the recording and message me your answer. You would take that trade? Okay. Again, the people who are watching the recording, please pause and send me your answer for this. Since it break and retest? Okay. So the answer, Mr. Bashir, should be no. You shouldn't take this trade. Especially if it's in a bearish engulfing, that's incorrect. Again, there's two things you want to keep in mind. Number one, trading counter trend. Right? If price is making higher high, higher low, higher high, and at a higher high it gives you a zone of consolidation, right? If the zone of consolidation gives you a break of these lows, right? So let's take a step back and let's delete some of these lines here so we can start fresh, right? I did this all with one line. All good. If price gives you a break of the lows, right? Isn't this the inducement to make people believe that this is where price is gonna go low retest to continue, wouldn't this be higher low, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? Whatever the highest point in the zone of consolidation, higher high, higher low, to trap the traders thinking that price is going to go low. This is the inducement to then give you something like this to go into a higher high, right? Keep in mind, what does this look like, right? I know you're not really in this. I don't really go over this in the sessions. For the people who do the one-on-one sessions would kind of understand this a little bit better. But this is what we always talk about the type 1 pattern, right? What's a type 1 pattern? A type 1 pattern is when price consolidates, right? Gives you a break of the low, right? And then starts giving you push 1, push 2, push 3 in an uptrend, right? Or vice versa in a downtrend. And the downtrend is the same thing. It'll just be, instead of the break of the low, it'll be the break of the high, right? And then 1, 2, 3, right? So again, so we could take a step back and kind of understand the reason why. Wow, it's all good. That's what we're here for. This is why this is why I always like to ask questions and make sure that everybody types in the chat. Right? Exactly for this reason. Again, there's a wrong answer, but there's no such thing as a bad wrong answer. We're all here to learn, right? And again, if nobody teaches you this, then you're just not gonna know it, right? And again, unfortunately, not a lot of people teach this, right? Unfortunately, everybody teaches the basic, which is, oh, you're in a zone of consolidation. If it breaks the lows, you take the lows, you take shorts. If you're in a zone of consolidation and it breaks the highs, then you go long. But again, what we always say, how are you taking a trade going short, right? How are you selling when the overall trend is uptrending, right? And this is exactly why a lot of people lose their trades. Because again, if price is making higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, boom, it gives you a higher high. And at the higher high, price is just consolidating, right? And then all of a sudden, price gives you a break of the low. Boom. What is this? Again, you have higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? The highest point, will say this is higher low, right? I'm sorry, a higher high, right? What happens after a higher high? Price has to give you a higher low. So you're in a zone of consolidation, it breaks, it gives you a higher low, right? Is this where you would want to take the trade going short? Or is this where you would want to wait for price to start giving you higher high, higher low to then take these trades going back to the top side? Good morning, Mr. Albert. You just missed the question that I asked. Um, and it would have been a really good one for you to answer too. Right? So, Mr. Bashir, let me know if that makes sense. If you need me to give you another example, I'll be more than happy to give you to give you more examples and a little bit more detail on that. But Albert, pretty much what I was telling him, right? Because this is what we had in yesterday's in the Discord, right? Who was the one that asked me? Somebody asked me about GU in the Discord yesterday. I don't remember who it was. Um, it was you, right? It was you. It was you. With GU, right? So I was pretty much explaining to him, right, that right now for GU, where are we? Right? We're in a zone of consolidation. It makes a lot of sense. Okay, cool, perfect. Right, so I'm pretty much gonna ask you the same question, Albert. I'm gonna redo exactly what I did with Mr. Bashir, just because this is a really good review. I really like that this is something that we were able to talk about today. So GU, we know we're in an uptrend, right? We're making higher high, higher low, and we're trading in this higher high, right? In the higher high, what did price give us? It gave us a zone of consolidation, right? So we know that we're stuck in the zone of consolidation. We don't have the break of the top of the zone of consolidation, but we have that internal change of character break of structure. But again, we're stuck in a zone of consolidation. This is where price has been rejecting highs and rejecting lows the entire time, right? So my question was, if you're making higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and at the higher high, price gives you a zone of consolidation, right? And then it gives you, oh man, well, let's do it this way, right? At the higher high, it gives you a zone of consolidation, right? The question is, when price breaks these lows, right, and boom, gives you a break of the low, the retest. The question is, are you going to be looking to take this trade here, the retest of the zone of consolidation, to go short? Yes or no? Yes, yes or no, and why? Why do you say yes or why do you say no? No, because that would be going counter. Okay. Any other reason as to why not? That's a good that's a good reason as to why not. That's one of the reasons, right? But there's another reason that's a little bit more in detail as to why not. There's another more specific reason that we're looking at as to why we wouldn't take this trade. Let's see if you could. Again, the answer is not, what you said is not wrong. It's definitely not wrong. But there's a little bit more of a specific answer that I'm looking for. Also, we have to see price making higher high, higher low before making an entry. Okay, exactly. Right, that is also another reason. That is also something we're going to be looking. Not another reason, but that is something that we're going to be looking at. Price is currently in consolidation. Okay. So the reason, or what I'd be looking for, right, is why wouldn't we be looking for shorts, right, in this zone of consolidation break retest to go short, right, is like what you said, is moving counter trend, right, because we know that overall we're making higher highs and higher lows. But market structure, right, we have higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? This break of the zone of consolidation is the higher low, right? For price to then give us, right, the flip to give us another higher high. So this is the reason why. And the examples that I was giving is, again, when people teach you zones of consolidation, again, a lot of people aren't going into the overall market structure. And the example that I was giving the stream, technically just Mr. Bashir a little bit earlier because nobody else was here. Um, if you go and you watch the traders who teach zones of consolidation, and the example I gave him was Roger Banks, he knows how to trade breakouts, right? He knows how to talk about zones of consolidations, break, retest to then continue, right? The breakout trades. But what he fails to do is to teach you overall market structure. And this is why you see a lot of people taking losses, is because they believe that they're going to see a break or retest to go short, but market structure is still uptrending, right? So this is the situation with GU at this moment, right? That right now GU is just stuck in a zone of consolidation. We have no break of the highs just yet. Price is just moving sideways. Price already gave us 3 months of rise. We know that we're expecting price for this month to either move sideways or give us a pullback. And this is the reason why this change of character, break of structure at this moment is in very high probability, right? So just gotta go on to the next one. I'm not gonna be trading GU, even though STP or ADR hasn't been hit just yet. I'm not gonna trade it. We'll wait till tonight to look at this. Again, the only time I'll be looking to trade GU again is once we get that break of the top of the zone of consolidation. Once we get that break, once we get a retest, that's when I'll start looking to take a trade. But at this moment, I'm not really going to be interested in it. I do like it, right? I do like the fact that we're looking for price bounce off the 200. I do like the fact that the pullback that we're going to get after the break of structure is on the 200 EMA. If we were to use our fib retracement, this is also a 50% to a 61.8 retracement. If you don't believe me, we'll add it here, right? 50 to 61.8. So everything is lining up. The only thing that's not lining up for me to take this trade is market structure. If we would have gotten a break of structure of the top of the zone of consolidation and then we would have gotten this retest, I would have taken this trade 100% of the time, every single time we see this. But the fact that we haven't gotten a break of structure of the zone of consolidation just yet, I'm not going to take this trade, right? The same reason why we wouldn't take this trade, right? This is where, again, back testing is very important, right? This isn't just, oh, he's not taking a trade just because he doesn't want to take a trade. No, there's reasons as to why we're not taking these trades. It's very important to understand that, right? Why didn't this 372 work? 2 days of rise. After 2 days of rise, you're looking for a third day. Why didn't this 372 work here a couple weeks ago in the beginning of the month? Right? We're at the top of the zone of consolidation, right? If you notice it, the zone of consolidation here. Why didn't we get the 372? We had the break in the retest. Why didn't we get the 372? We're at the top of the zone of consolidation. We're stuck in a zone of consolidation without a break of structure. This is how traders get faked out. This is what an inducement looks like. This is what the trap falls real is. This is how the market makers trap traders. Right? These aren't just words that we say and you never see it on the charts. No. We see this every single time. So the same reason why we didn't take this trade in the beginning of the month is the same reason why I'm not taking the trade at the end of the month. Is the exact same thing, guys. Which, again, when you're on the charts, you're trading the same thing every single day. This is just rinse and repeat. Every single time you step on the charts, every time you open up your charts, you're trading the same thing that you've been trading since you first started trading. Right? Again, that's if you have a trading plan. And that's the most important thing. Is, again, you have to follow your rules. And your rules can't just be something made up. Right? All the rules that we have here are backed by years and years and years and years and years of back testing. And again, we could open up my MT4 and you will see that I have 36 pairs. And every single pair has 10 years worth of back testing. A lot of people are going to go online and you're going to find people telling you that's a waste of time. Cool. Tell them to hit me up. Let's compare our trading journals. And let's compare our win to losses in the last 2 years. Since it's such a waste of time, let's compare our win losses. Let's compare our payouts. Right? Let's do that. If you guys find somebody who says that this is a waste of time, please tell them to hit me up. I would love to do a fucking stream with them. So again, this is the reason why we stay out of these trades. Again, could it be a possibility that this trade works out? Yeah, but that's a 50% chance of winning. I'm not taking a 50% chance trade. I don't go to the casino. I don't play the lottery. I don't play nothing that's 50-50. I'm a trader. I take trades that I know are going to work out every single time that I take a trade. Every single time. Right? So this is the reason why, guys. I hope this makes sense. We had a little bit of time on GU, but let me know if you guys have any questions. Anything you want me to explain, something that does not making sense, just let me know and I'll try to go over it again. I'm not going to be trading US 30. Oh man. The only thing I didn't like about USD CAD here obviously is the stop loss at 20 pips, but then this entry was given very early, man. 4 in the morning. Fucking exactly what we were looking for. Oh man, I might have to. Oh shit. What happened? 8:30 hasn't even hit. We just had a straight red candle. But USD CAD, same thing. Right? Same thing as what GU. We're stuck in a zone of consolidation where price is rejecting highs and rejecting lows the entire time. So USD CAD, I am looking for that third week high. So this could be giving us that move for the day. Um, I do like the fact that we're still making higher high and higher low, and after price gave us that higher high, price just started moving sideways. So that's the only bad thing. Again, I would love to see price give us trend moves, but there's nothing there. USD ZAR just moving sideways, right? And just gave us another lower low. ZAR, I'm not gonna be trading it. Gold, what is gold doing? The same thing we've been doing for the last 5 days since last week on Tuesday. We're just rejecting highs, rejecting lows the entire time, guys. The entire time. We still have that gap at the bottom of the market that we had for the open of the week. Price hasn't filled that gap up just yet, almost. So again, I'm not gonna be looking to take any trades going long on gold. I'm gonna be looking for price to give us that pullback, to fill that gap up. So gold, I'm not really gonna be trading it. Um, so in this scenario, we have to wait for price to break above the 30-minute zone, making higher high than higher low. My bad, Albert. For which pair are you talking about? Is my bad. Are you speaking about GU, what we were talking about, or were we speaking about USD CAD? For GU, yes. For GU, before I could take a trade on GU, I need to see price give us a break of structure of the top, not only the top of the zone of consolidation, right? But at this point too, again, we know that we're trading at the daily highs, right? And again, it was just price making higher high, higher low. So the first thing we want to see is obviously price to give us another higher high, which we haven't gotten yet, right? Once price gives us a break of structure, right? Again, we're trading higher high, higher low, right? Once price gives you a higher high, what are we looking for? Well, then we know that we're going to be looking for a retest. The retest is going to be somewhere in this area. And then this is where we'll take another trade to continue that push to the top side. Right? Could we take a trade here at the highs? Yeah. Obviously, if we have a 372, we have a simple break retest on the smaller time frames. We could potentially be looking for another trade. But right now, what I'm looking for is for price to give us. There's two things that are going to happen. Right? Either price isn't going to give us another higher high and it's just going to give us a pullback in the internal time frame, right? To give us higher high, higher low, higher high, give us a higher low. If price gives us a higher low, then that's where we'll take it. Which again, it was the example that I was giving you, where if price, right, does this, right, consolidates, gives us a break, this is where I'll take the trade to continue that push to the top side, right? Or we're gonna wait for price to give us the break, right, the break retest, to then continue that push to the top side. Those are the only two options that we have for GU at this moment. We're either going to be waiting for the break of the low. Once it gives us the break of the low, once price starts giving us higher highs and higher lows in the internal time frame, that's when we'll take the price to go back up. Or we'll be looking for price to give us a break and retest of the top of the zone of consolidation to continue that push to the top side. So yeah, we'll just have to wait for the breakouts. Once we get the breakouts, that's when we'll start looking to take trades again on GU. Let's see, US 30, we know we still got those gaps at the bottom of the market. US 30 is in a very awkward situation, right? Daily and 4-hour time frame looks like price wants to go short, but again, looking at structure, looking at how price is reacting to these highs. It's not something that I could say, yeah, we're definitely gonna keep doing that. So, again, this is just one of those pairs that we have to just be patient. There's nothing more we could do, right? Price gave us higher high, higher low, higher high. We're still uptrending. We're pretty much trading at a higher high, right? On the 30-minute time frame, on the daily time frame, on the 4-hour time frame, we're trading at a higher high as well. Let's see if there's any engulfing candles that we could look for here. 4-hour time frame, nothing. 1-hour time frame. Right, we have a bullish engulfing on the 1 hour, but this is at a higher high. We had an hour gap here that price just filled. Right, so let's look at this. We have a 30-minute gap as well that price just filled. Let's look at this in the lower time frame. This 15-minute gap was here as well. Let's look at this in the 5-minute. In the 5-minute, we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price gave us like a little lower low with these wicks over here. I don't really want to say that this is where price gave us high, low, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high. I'm not gonna say all that. This is all part of one structure here. trap traders with this crazy wick at 5 in the morning and then push back up to the top side. So right now, we could potentially be looking for those shorts on US 30, especially since it filled that gap up. We'll take a look closer to US 30 in an hour. Right. Yeah, man. Look how USD CAD is reacting, going back to the engulfing candle. So we already know that this is a low probability zone. You know you're in a low probability zone when price comes back. After being in profit, if price comes back to the point of interest as to where you would want to take your trade, it's a low probability zone. So USD CAD, I'm not going to trade it. Look how Bitcoin is reacting too, is just pushing down. SCP for Bitcoin has already been hit. And then oil, we're kind of just still stuck in this little zone of consolidation. I like the fact that we have a lower low change of character, but again, in order for me to feel comfortable taking another trade, I need to see the break of structure after the change of character. Anything else right now, we'd just be getting trapped, and I am not a fan of being trapped. And right now, we don't have any engulfing candles anywhere. We had a 4-hour engulfing candle that price still hasn't tapped into yet. So ideally, I would like to see price give us another push to the top side to give us the retest of the engulfing candle to then go short. So not really going to be trading oil. So there's really nothing left. Again, guys, that's pretty much it. The only pair that moved how it has to move is AU. But again, this entry is very similar to the entries that we've seen all week, where price is going to give you an engulfing candle moving against the trend, right? And then, the probability of price going straight into profit is very low probability. But AU did give us that entry last night, which is, again, very unfortunate. This would have been a really good trade. Again, that's a 3 pip stop loss for STP at 50, 60 pips. So, is one of those that is AU, like I was saying earlier on the stream when we first saw it, is one of those pairs that, or is one of those entries that you see it 100 times, 99% of the times it's going to go straight to stop loss, and then the one time is going to work out, is going to make you feel like, damn, I should have taken the trade. But like I was saying, what we were going over, again, this is the reason why we backtest and we journal, right? Understanding that this entry last night was very low probability is the reason why we didn't get trapped into it and why we didn't take the trade, right? So again, in hindsight, okay, it worked out, cool, but this isn't my entry, right? I wouldn't have taken this entry, and that's the reason why we did it. So it's all good. Again, GCAD, we can see that it's currently already moving counter trend. It already gave us a change of character break of structure on the lower time frame on the 5 minutes. So GCAD is pretty much done at this point. Not really going to be looking to take those trades. And once again, same thing as GU. Just a little bit difference when it comes to market structure. But we're at a higher high. Right? At the higher high, are you expecting price to continue to give you higher highs and higher highs and higher highs? Or are we expecting price to give us a higher low? Yeah, we're expecting price to give us a higher low. So right now, as soon as GCAD gives us that set higher low, then we'll start looking to take some trades on it. So that's pretty much it, man. I'm not really gonna be trading US 30 today. I'm not really interested in it. I don't, there isn't any other trades for today that I'm waiting for. So I think that's pretty much it, man. Unless you guys have any questions, any entries you guys want to talk about, any trades you guys took that you want me to go over, let me know. If not, then yeah, that's pretty much it for me today, guys. I don't have anything else for us here for the day. Then what's STP for this as well? STP is 128 is ADR minus 33% is 85 pips. And we already did 88 pips, so yeah, we really don't have anything left on the table for us for today, guys. Need someone. Today's what, Tuesday? Yeah, we still got the whole week left to trade, guys. I'm in no rush, man. Let the markets do what they gotta do, and we'll come back when everything starts shaping up, man. But that's all we could do as traders, is just wait for our indications, wait for our rules to appear on the charts, and then we go on from there. Can we go over AU? Yeah, of course. We'll do a top to bottom for AU. So AU, daily time frame. Right, we know that we're trading. We're in a downtrend. Right, we had the first push, first zone of consolidation, the second push, the second zone of consolidation, right? And we had the break of structure of the second zone of consolidation to give us the break, right? The break on AU, it didn't happen here, right? It happened here. So we know that we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? And then price gave us a lower low. So what we're looking for is for price to give us a set lower high, right? Where's the lower high gonna be set, right? Could the lower high be here to then give us a lower low? Absolutely. Could the lower high be here, a little bit higher to then go into a lower low? Absolutely. Could price be targeting the gap on the 30-minute time frame and give us a lower high here to go short? Absolutely. Again, a lower high could be set here, it could be set here, it could be set here, it could be set here, right? As long as it's below the previous lower high. So we have all of this area to really to just to put it in perspective. We have all of these areas here as to where price could give us a pullback to make a lower high. Right? Just think about that. That's if we put it in pip value, that's a 600 pip range that we have on AU. Now, it's okay. How do you say the next question should be, well, okay, once price goes to these points of interest, what are you looking for? Well, we'll be looking for price to start making lower lows and lower highs, right? And if we're looking at it in the internal time frame, right? Okay, we're at a point of interest as to where price could give us a lower high, right? But right now, what are we doing? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? Again, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? Then boom, after this higher high was set, price gave us a higher low. Once this higher low was set, what did the internal time frame start doing? Start going to the 30-minute, right? Internally, price started making higher high and higher low. Then the internal of that started doing what? Higher high into a higher low. So this is the reason why I'm not really interested in AU right now. Even though we have that third week low, right? Structurally, this didn't make any sense to take a trade. Why? Because we also know that we're in the zone of consolidation, where price has been rejecting highs and rejecting lows the entire time, and we're in the middle of it. And again, very similar to the other pairs, in the middle of the zone of consolidation, as we could see it, what happens in the middle of the zone of consolidation? And I'll let you answer that question. We go over this every single day, so that should be a pretty easy answer. Right? In the middle of the zone of consolidation, what happens? If you don't know the answer, just it's all good. Again, there's no such thing as a wrong answer. But let's see if you know the answer to that. What happens in the middle of the zone of consolidation? We'll be sending a screenshot of how I see it. Okay, no problem. Gonna give you another. Not sure, but price has to break the low, making it a higher low. Okay. In the middle of the zone, well, exactly. Price does have to break the low so we can start downtrending. You're not wrong about that 100%. Right? In the middle of the zone of consolidation, this is where the market makers are trapping traders. Make sure you write that down because I say this every single time on stream, and that's very important to know. In the middle of the zone of consolidation is where the market makers are inducing traders. They're trapping traders, right? And that's exactly where we're at. So the fact that all of those things that we just talked about, that's the reason why I wasn't really interested in taking this trade for AU just yet. Right? Again, it was a at the end of the day, we could sit here and say that was a very beautiful zone. It was. I'm not gonna lie about it. It was a very beautiful zone. However, the probability of this trade working out, especially working out the way that it did, where it just went straight to profit and it's still printing, is very low probability. And again, is the reason why is because price overall is still making higher highs and higher lows. We're still looking for price to give us a set high, right? A set higher low in the higher time frame to then start making lows. And that's okay. Like I'm okay with missing these entries at the highs to go short, right? As soon as price gives us a break of these lows here, you can see that this is where price is moving sideways. As soon as price gives us a break of these lows, this is where I'll start looking to take those trades going short, right? The lower high to go into the lower low. So that's pretty much it for AU. AU is a little bit more technical when it comes to market structure, but it's still the same thing. We still have to wait for price to turn around, right? Price is still giving us higher highs and higher lows on two different time frames. The only time frame that's 30 minutes not even downtrending. So every time frame is still uptrending on AU, right? 30-minute gave us a higher high, 4 hour we're at a higher high, daily time frame we're trading at a high as well. So we'll have to wait for price to just break these lows, start making lower lows and lower highs to then start looking to take those trades. And then every other pair, let's just see real quick. I just want to see if there's anything left on the table, man. I really need to take a trade, man. Haven't traded in fucking 2-3 weeks almost. I haven't traded this entire month pretty much. Right, EA is looking good. It gave us a change of character. It gave us a break of structure above the 800. So EA looks good for the rest of the week. We'll definitely be looking at EA for this week. Only thing I don't like is that gap at the bottom that hasn't been filled just yet. ECAD, again, still trading lower low, lower high. Then gave us a change of character, higher high, but we still have that gap at the bottom. EU is just moving sideways and we're still trading lower low, lower high. So we still have that gap at the bottom as well. So I'm not going to trade it until price fills that gap up. GA still giving us lower low, lower high, lower low. We'll be looking for price to break these highs. GCAD, again, this is the one that has that change of character, break of structure. But we're trading at a higher high. I will keep GCAD on for a little bit. See if we can see something on the lower time frame. GJ already hit STP and ADR. GU is at the top of the zone of consolidation. NZDCHF hit STP. NZDCAD already hit STP. NZDUSD is just moving sideways here. Literally just stuck in this zone of consolidation here. NZDJPY, same thing. We're just stuck in a zone of consolidation. Not going to be trading that. USD ZAR, we already know. USDJPY still making lower lows and lower highs. How does what GJ look like? Look the same? Similar. That's pretty much it. USDJPY stuck in a zone of consolidation once again. When you hear the sirens coming, run. When you hear the sirens coming. What have you done? There's no need to run. I felt price had to change a character to the top side, waiting for a lower low. Yeah, exactly. With AU. Yeah. Yep. Same thing. Price gave you lower low, lower high, lower low, and then it gave you the change of character, higher high. Right? So we know that we're gonna have to wait for price to break these lows. Right? And then again, not only that, on the 4 hour time frame, which is again the blue boxes, right? Daily is the gray boxes, 30 minutes the red boxes, right? But on the 4 hour, right, we also know that we're still trading higher high and higher low. Right? Higher high, higher low, higher high. Price never broke these highs, price hasn't broken these lows yet. Price is just still trading between that previous higher high and higher low. So for us to start getting into the high probability trades, we need to see price break these lows. So yeah, you're not wrong. That's a perfect markup the way that you have it there. Again, with GCAD, what I'm still like kind of on the fence about, and not really on the fence, just more like, okay, this could be a potential one, is the fact that we're on that 200 EMA after the change of character break of structure. But the only thing is that STP's already been hit, right? 128, all right, 85 pips. So we've already done STP for the day. So there's really nothing left, guys. This already gave us the move that we're looking for, or it already gave us STP for the day. So not really expecting anything else to print out of the charts. You can see that price is still just moving crazy down. Thank you, no problem, my brother. My bad, guys. I'm back. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. GCAT already hit STP, as you guys could see, so I'm not, we're done pretty much for the day. Only thing left that hasn't hit STP was US 30. The index is pretty much already gold did what it had to do as well, so even gold we're pretty much done for the day. Cat is looking crazy. I can't even cry. It'll all make sense tomorrow. Even trap traders in the internal time frame. Thank you. Lower. Thank you. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, change of character, higher high, higher low, break of structure, higher high, higher low. Gave you the retest and then straight to stop loss. If you didn't move your stops to break even or in profit a little bit, straight to stop loss with that one fucking red candle, man. So this is what I'm saying, guys. Like, the reason I trade so conservative the way that I do trade is because of things like this. Like, if we were to be up, right? Let's just put it in perspective, right? What do we look for every time we're on the trend? Again, this is why market structure is very important. So let's do the back test. This is how you're supposed to back test, right? This is how I back test every single time. Last week, that one day that 3 in the morning that every single pair gave like an entry. This is what we did on stream, right? I backtest. So how is it that I backtest? Well, this is what I do, right? So okay, we already know we missed this of the chart because I'm not up at 4 in the morning. Right? I'm not up looking at the chart at 4 in the morning. So how would I look at this chart if I were to be up at this time? I'll go to the 1 minute, right? And in the 1 minute, I'm looking for structure, right? Boom, we have the retest of the um in the 1 minute time frame, right? Once we get to the point of interest, I'm looking for that change of character break of structure to look for the entry, right? So what do we see? We have lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? Lower low, higher high, change of character, higher low, and then this is where we had the break of structure, higher high. And what are we looking for? We're looking for the retest, which we got, right? Boom. All of this here was a retest, right? So once you get the retest, you're looking for the entry, and that's would be your entry to go straight into profit. Now what happened? Boom, price went right back down with one candle and took everybody out who got into that trade, right? And again, why did that happen? Let's take a step back, right? Why would that happen? Let's go back to the 30-minute time frame. Where are we? In a zone of consolidation where price is moving sideways, right? We could see that this isn't trending. Anybody who says this is a trend, you gotta be blind, right? You're in a zone of consolidation. Not only that, where are you in the zone of consolidation? In the middle of the zone of consolidation. So again, the question, and I gave you the answer a couple minutes ago. In the middle of the zone of consolidation, whoever knows the answer, put it in the chat. Why do you not want to trade in the middle of the zone of consolidation? What do the market makers do in the middle of the zone of consolidation? I'll give you guys a minute to answer that question in the chat. What do the market makers do in the middle of the zone of consolidation? Trapping traders. That's it. Trapping traders. So once you already understand these zones, like once you see that and you see that happen every single time, guys, every single time. This is the reason why I'm such a conservative trader. I'm not going to take a trade just because I see an engulfing candle. Oh, an engulfing candle. Oh, change of character, break of structure. Let's get in, get in, get. Like, no, man. Let's take a step back. Let's analyze where we're at on the charts. If the trade makes sense, let's take it. But if we know that we're in a position, if you know there's sharks in the fucking water, are you going to jump in the ocean? Fake out movement, exactly. It's just trapping traders. In the middle of the zone of consolidation, market makers are just trapping traders, inducing traders to get into a trade and then hit your stop losses. Right? If you're on a boat and everybody's jumping off the boat, but there's fucking sharks in the water, are you gonna be a follower and fucking jump in the water with sharks so your ass could get eaten too? Or are you gonna stay on the boat and be like, yo, you know what? I'm not jumping in that fucking water. It's the same thing. You could open up YouTube right now, open up TikTok right now, go look at every single trader's live stream. How many fucking people you think are in these trades? You think I'm gonna be one of them? Hell no. Just because they're in their trade, I don't give a fuck. Right? Good luck for them. Good, like, you know what I'm saying? Good luck to them. I will not be jumping in that water. I will not be taking that trade. I'm good. So, it's the same thing. Understanding that you're in the middle of that range is the reason why we're not getting into any of these trades. Because if we would have gotten into a trade, straight to stop loss. Straight to stop loss. And we just seen that. Again, this isn't make believe. This is not nothing that we haven't talked about. This isn't something that we haven't seen before. This isn't something that we haven't done before. No, we know exactly how our zones work every single time. Once price goes into our zone of interest, which in this situation would have been the engulfing candle, we go to the lower time frame. Before we take a trade, we go to the lower time frame, we look for the change of character, the break of structure, and then after the break we take the trade. So we know that on a regular day, this would have been a perfect fucking trade for us. Perfect trade. However, what's the one rule that hasn't been followed? It's the zone of consolidation. That's it. I don't care that we have a third week high. I don't care if we would have had a third month high. I don't care if we have a 372. Again, for the same reason why GCAD, right? Was it GCAD? No, it wasn't GCAD. What pair was it? The one that had that 372 in the zone of consolidation that didn't work out? It was one of the GBP pairs, no? I'll find it. Yeah, GU, right? Is the same reason why this 372 on GBP USD didn't work. Why? Because we're in a zone of consolidation. We're at the top of the zone of consolidation. We don't have a break. How are you going to take a trade at the top of the zone of consolidation going long? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So again, understanding that is the same exact reason why we didn't take any of these trades on GU. But again, how many traders last night during the Asia session and London session, how many traders did you see take this trade because they think that this is going to be higher high, higher low, higher high, boom, higher low retest? How many traders do you think took this as a lower low, lower high, change of character, break of structure, boom, straight to stop loss, very similar to the other pair? And again, understanding the fact that we've been in this area 1, 2, 3, 4 different times, and each time the price went down. Why would I take a trade again here at the highs going long when we have previous data since the beginning of April telling us that price is not going to go down here if price does not give us a break of structure? Right? It's very simple. Like, I get it. Trading is very boring. It could be very fucking boring, especially when we're just sitting here doing fucking shit. But if you want to be a successful trader, these are the days that count the most. Because these are the days that a lot of traders lose their account. These are the days that a lot of traders blow their accounts, lose their challenges, right? Liquidate their account because they're super impatient. They just want to take a trade. And again, we've been streaming here for an hour. Since the 30-minute mark, I was already like, guys, I'm done trading. Like, there's nothing for us here. But, you know, I'm here for you guys, I'm trying to give you guys the most examples so you guys could really see, especially the beginner traders, of people who haven't seen this before, right? I'm really trying to show you guys the reality of trading. Not every single day is a trading day, right? Not every single day is a trading day, and you will have weeks that you're not going to take a trade. And it's very, very, very important to understand that. It's very important to see that. Because the day that you don't see that, the day that you don't realize that the market is trapping you, is the day that you will lose your trading account. Is the day that you will lose hundreds of dollars. So it's very important to be able to see that. Again, we're all human. We will make those mistakes, right? But if you see it clearly every single time and you stay aware of that every single time you're on the charts, instead of losing that trade every single time you step on the charts, you might lose it once or twice. And again, that happens. It happened to me. It happens to every trader. It happened to me a few weeks ago on GCAD. And it's okay. It happens. You get trapped, damn, all good. But we know why we got trapped, right? So that's it. It happens. That's what happens on the charts. So just gotta be patient. Again, we already know, yo. Don't take those fuck ass trades. We already know those trades. We're gonna take them, or we might lose them 50% of the time. So again, we go back to the regular scheduled program, man. We're gonna take trades that we know are gonna work out 100% of the time. And again, that's the reason why our win loss is 26 wins and 1 loss for 2025. And that 1 loss happened on GBP CAD a few weeks ago. So just gotta be patient, man. There's nothing about it. Again, every single pair already hit STP or ADR. The only pair that hasn't hit STP or ADR is US 30, and I'm not gonna be trading US 30 right now. I'm completely cool with it. Like I'm in no rush to trade with US, especially US 30. We still have those gaps at the bottom of the market, so we'll see what price wants to do. There's just too much manipulation happening on these pairs. Again, market structure will always prevail. It'll always do what it has to do. We're still making internal higher highs and higher lows. At the higher high, we're just in a zone of consolidation. So again, if we sit here and say that we're going to take these trades going short if price breaks these lows, it's like, okay, cool. But again, we know that we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high. This break of the zone of consolidation could be the higher low to then continue that push to the top side. So I'm in no rush to take these trades. Um, this is gonna be one of those trades that this is gonna just work out on the 15-minute time frame. And again, what do we know about the 15-minute time frame? This is where we will see our type 1, type 2, type 3 patterns. And it does seem like US 30 wants to give us a type 1 pattern in an uptrend. So what I would love to see price do on US 30, give us the break, push 1, push 2, push 3 to continue that push to the top side. So we have pretty much 15 minutes till 9:30. Again, I'm not really interested to trade US 30s, so that might be it for me today, guys. But any questions, Mr. Adrian? I know you joined in a couple, a little bit later, but it's all good. Mr. Albert, if you're still here, Mr. Bashir, if you're still here, you guys have any questions? Anything you guys want me to talk about? Any pairs you guys want me to go over? Any entries that you guys took that you want me to go over? Anything you want me to explain? Anything at all, just let me know. I'll give you guys a minute to answer that in chat. If you guys don't have any questions, then again, that's pretty much it for me today, and we'll be back again tonight for the isolation session. But that's pretty much it, man. Anything at all, just let me know. No questions in the chat, guys. Gonna give you guys another minute. Thank you, man. I'll watch the recording and see. All right, my brother. No problems. Yeah, Adrian, you could always watch the recording. I know I asked a few questions earlier, and I even said it like, oh, the people who watch the recording, pause it, answer the question, message me the answer, and then keep watching the recording. That happened in like the 30 minute mark of the stream. But yeah, of course, man, just watch the recording. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on Discord or Instagram or X, whatever is easier for you. Um, or even on the chat or in the comment section. Once the stream is finished, there'll be a comment section. So even if you want to ask questions in the comment section of the YouTube video, you could do that as well. So yeah, feel free to message me whenever you watch the recording. It doesn't have to only be this recording. Whenever you watch any recordings, if you have any question, and this goes for everybody, obviously, feel free to message me or type the question in the chat. I'm pretty much active all day, every day. So, but all right, guys. Since there's no more questions in the chat, hope you guys have a good rest of your day. We'll be back again tonight for the isolation session. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night. The isolation session actually tonight is on WAP. Remember that we have our membership on WAP, so tonight's session will be done on WAP. Tomorrow's sessions will be done on WAP. Thursday's morning session will be done on WAP, and then we'll be back Thursday night for the isolation session. So hope you guys have a good rest of your day. We'll be back again tonight. Peace out.